What's going on, traders? Welcome to it. Money Mitch's special 1 hour show. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to get into, of course, the CPI numbers. What should you be paying attention to? We'll talk about why that's so important. Of course, also, we'll take a look at my swing trades. Which ones did I sell? Were they profits? Were they losers? Definitely stick around to find out. And of course, stay tuned, guys. We'll get into, of course, what was strong, what was not. I also took a trade on IMAX AMC. How did that go? Find on out, guys. I will bring on Christopher Udall around 30 minutes in, around 4:30. We're going to start doing back testing and also a forward look on stocks from you guys out there in the chat. So definitely give us a thumbs on up if you guys enjoyed today's show. Say hello in the chat and let's go ahead. Let's get Money Mitch started today. It's going to be action-packed. Let's go.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.
What's going on, team? As you guys can see, Christopher will be joining on up. What's up, Tiny? Damien in the house. Easy. What's up out there? Disney earnings. Yes, they should be out really soon here. I'll definitely take a look there on Benzinga Pro and see how we get on those earnings. We could look at it live here as it probably hits the tape here. As you're seeing it, I think the bar was set low, but I think you're still going to get a breakdown on this. Looks like the numbers are hitting the tape right now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, try to get you guys those numbers. Let's take a look here at Disney as we see the live action start coming on down a little bit. It popped right out the gates, now pulling back a little. Let's see if it goes up past that 149. We'll get into it. Like always, yes, money, guys. Like Yoshi's saying, guys, hit the like for me, guys, if you guys are appreciating today. Let's go ahead and enjoy the market. It was definitely a good market day for me. I'll tell you that much, guys. I had a great day. Going to see what happened here on Disney. And as you guys can see, Nala in the back trying to hang on out. So let's go ahead. Let's have a good time. All right, opening up my Benzinga Pro here so that we can take a look here at what's going on with those earning numbers in Disney. So just give me a second here as I pull that on up. Like always, guys, if you guys want to stay up with the news and get it first, like always, I recommend get Benzinga Pro. That's what I use exactly when I need moments like this where I need news fast. I'm going and I'm grabbing right here. Let's go ahead. Let's get it here. Looks like we got the numbers hitting the tape right now. I'm going to go ahead up and try to find those. You're also seeing a lot of kind of call sweeps there coming in here, trading higher after the report there. We just broke through that 149. I think one of the things that here was the bar being set low. We got an earnings per share here. I'm going to pull this down here so that we can see it. Earnings EPS was at $1.06, beat an estimate there of 61 cents. So big beat there, guys. $1.06 by 61. That's a huge beat. That's 73% beat. Sales at 21.82. Beat an 18.63 billion estimate. So as you guys can see, beating on bottom and top line there. That's exactly what you want to look at. Now, what do you want to be looking at is the subscription numbers to see what happened exactly there in Disney. So I'll be paying attention to see what happened on the subscription numbers, but we got it here live on that 1 minute. We're seeing Disney pop on those earnings. I'm really interested to see what happened on those subscription numbers, but we'll see. Disney up there towards almost 160 today. I mean, that's interesting. You take a look at the daily chart. Now you're going to be getting into this gap area soon, which is up there by the 163s. We'll see if we can get it up here just on the earnings alone. I'm going to be paying attention. Once I see those sub numbers hit the tape, I'll let you guys know. Let's go ahead. Let's talk a little bit about the bigger stock and bigger overall market moves right now. SPY pushing on up there towards 457. We had a strong day today. We're going to definitely be paying attention to what of course, do we hold and get above 460 tomorrow? CPI data coming, guys. I think that's so important to pay attention to. We'll see what happens there. The U.S. released CPI data in the morning. We had a surge of 7% in December. CPI is expected to have increased to 7.3% year over year in January. In addition, January's core CPI, which excludes food and energy, is expected to increase 5.9% from 5.5 last. Remember that the Fed tries to target the supposed 2% inflation rate. As you guys can see, numbers like 5.9, not really there. Recall Fed Chair Powell said during his press conference on the last FOMC meeting that inflation risks are still to the upside and that inflation could be higher for longer than expected. In addition, he also noted that the committee is in mind to raising rates in March. And he also said that they weren't making much progress in the supply chain issue. So as you guys see here, we'll be paying attention to that CPI number like always. I think this is going to have an effect on the reopening trades. And this is where I took those swing trades. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Today, selling American Airlines up there, guys, in the 1870s. This was, we ended up selling it right around 1870, 1868. Looks like we got here. This was a great trade on American Airlines. We had traded it up from just above 17 here. And look at that perfect trade there. That's about a 9.6% trade there on American Airlines. Another good one that we closed on was JetBlue. JetBlue, we got in there just below 15, getting in there at 14.97. Selling today into the move close to 16. We actually sold in here. Let me go to the 1 minute so we can see exactly the level. We're going to take a look here. We sold right around 16, right at that 16. And it looks like it went to a high of 16.14. I could have looked for maybe 16.09. That was the target that I was looking for. But hey, take what you can get sometimes. Not a bad trade there. Airbnb. Another one. Another one. That was JetBlue. Let's go to Airbnb. Now, sorry about that. Let's go to Airbnb. See, as we continue making moves in this one, looks like I could have maybe held a little bit of Airbnb, but I did sell it into the move. I looked for a move right above 168 towards the 81s. This one was an over $100 winner with just 10 shares. So as you guys can see, you don't always need to have the biggest share size to make a great trade. Airbnb, awesome trade here. Now really starting to trend on up. Looks like it's going to probably run into a trend line up here of the 174s. I could see 169s playing as resistance. So that's why I went and sold into the move. The big question for me really about the reopening trades are, what if CPI really just starts knocking us down tomorrow? I don't want to be around fighting the reports right now or fighting kind of economical data. So if I can get swing trades that go up, let's say 9, 10%, even just 7%, one thing I've lowered down the risk size on the risk side of my swing trading. I'm no longer risking, let's say 5% to make 20% returns or 10% to make 20% returns. I'm risking closer down towards 3 or 4%, looking to make that 8 to 10% on the upside. That does not seem bad to me to approach in this market. And we got a couple of them right here today. That's not a bad look. One that we did stop out of today, and it wasn't really a loser, but we got out into the green on gold. It started turning around on us right here at the end here, and that's when we got out at the 78 mark. We got in this one at 1960s. Not going to be mad about gold here. It did a good job for us. We did take 3/4 of profit up there into the 990s, into the 1980s. But it was a good trade, and CPI data could affect gold massively tomorrow. So once again, uncertainty. I'm not going to take part in it. I don't want to get crushed and get hit hard on that. So let's go ahead. Let's keep going here. Sorry about the little ad there. Let's just keep going. Gold, we'll see if it gets back on up there with the CPI data, but I just don't want to be reaching out for that one right now. All right, so one more that we took today that we ended up getting, just getting out for a small profit with Sundial We saw this one push on up. We were looking at it in pre-market, and we talked about this yesterday, how important it was going to be if it could trade up with Tilray and also CGC. These were stocks that I was going to be looking to kind of lead the way, Tilray leading the way, CGC following, and so that I was looking for Sundial. Twilio, now we're getting those reports out there. Let's go ahead. Let's get Twilio's and see if we can get Twilio's numbers here. All right, so Twilio pushing on up there towards 255. Nice little breakout there. 250, I'd look for the pullback to keep holding here. We'll see if it holds on up there. Looks like we got in here some numbers that are out right now. Pulling that up. These are a little bit harder as we're live, but let's go ahead and see here. Non-GAAP EPS of a 20-cent loss there, beat an expectation. It beat by 2 cents. Okay, not the expectation was 2 cents. I just got confused there. I wanted to make sure I didn't give you guys the expectation was 2 cents there. No, it looks like it beat the expectation by 2 cents. So if it was the EPS came in at a loss of 0.2 or 0.20 cents, you guys can think right there the expectation there was a loss of 22 cents. The revenues were at 842.74 million, beat by 73.34 million. So a nice beat there. We'll see what happens in this stock. Twilio is a great kind of internet content information stock. It provides a lot of the data that you see even behind, like, let's say Uber. I remember when this one was trading down at $30, and this stock is a monster now, has pulled back massively. I mean, this stock got towards a high of 457.30 and now has pulled back, let's say, more than about 50%. You're looking close towards 60% there. And now you're getting on back up there. We'll see if these can continue. But these are good signs, of course, for the overall market. All right, going to go ahead and catch up with the chat, guys. I know that a lot of people are talking up there, so let me go ahead and catch up what's going on out there. Oil way higher from December, that's for sure. Thumbs on up, Twilio up to 230, now from 200. Ron John, keeping an eye on it. Disney did pop. Appreciate you keeping an eye on that. Les wants to talk about AMC. We're going to get into AMC just coming on up. I'll talk about my IMAX trade. Also, how you guys could have been catching that AMC. We talked about it on live trading right when it happened. I explained the trade, and it actually popped eventually. See AMC having a good day there. So definitely, hello. How we doing out there? Let's go ahead. Let's keep going out there. You guys in the chat, if you guys got a stock you want to take a look at, throw it on up. Even Jay in the house. What's up out there? All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. Twilio, as you guys can see, popped on up there. Let's talk about that AMC. Let's get into it, guys. I know that you guys want to go ahead and get right into it. So it's time to talk about the money trade of the day. Yes, I said it, guys. Let's get into the money. All right, guys, so I'm going to put IMAX here in the middle here, and I'm going to put AMC on the right. This is the way we approach this trade and what we were looking for. We were looking for the sympathy trade, right? And so a lot of times when I look at trades, I look for what? I look for leaders and laggards. I look for sectors that are getting hot, industries that are getting hot, and then I want to work backwards. So I did get the alert today about AMC moving. Of course, I already know kind of like what trades with AMC. So I started taking a look, and I put the 3 charts up. Let's take a look at AMC, IMAX, and CNK together and see if these can get running. So we started watching these, and we looked at IMAX. IMAX was, I'm going to show you exactly where it was. So let's go ahead. I'll put it big screen here. IMAX was right here, and it was off the bottom. It was just hanging out here right now. It was around 1050 when we were going to look at it, and then we got in eventually right here on this candle at 11. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look where AMC was at that time. If you take a look here, this is going to be the time where it starts to try to get out of the flag pattern here, the first flag, not the second flag. So we're looking right here at 11, and you guys can see here, what do we get? The rule of 3 playing in an AMC. 1, 2, 3 highs here. We're going to look for the bottom to hold there. And look how that just starts pushing on up. Look when this candle breaks on out, 1055, right? Look where look where IMAX was traded. Look at that yellow line. If we take a look here where IMAX was trading right there on that candle, it was right there off that 919 bottom. That's when I started seeing AMC get strong. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take it based off of the AMC chart, not necessarily the IMAX chart. I'm taking it off the AMC chart. I'm seeing the industry hold up well. Let's see if we can get that ride on up. So the next candle comes in, and what do you get? You start getting those big candles that show up. When you see the AMC breakout, you see IMAX kind of follow. And the same thing kind of happens later in the day with CNK. So you guys see these candles right here, these big candles on the left-hand side. I'm going to show you the later in the day breakout on AMC that all of a sudden just squeezes on up. And when it squeezes on up, look how you could have caught that CNK trade right after it. So I'll look kind of lower here. IMAX, we ended up grabbing there and taking the trade on up there right to the breakout. And where does this break out? Let's take a look. So if you take a look here on that AMC candle, we get that breakout right through the highs. And where was it? The stock was actually trading sideways on AMC at the top of the range for IMAX and the bottom of the range for CNK. When we saw this pop on AMC, you see it get through the top of the range here on IMAX. And then what do you see on CNK? You get a 5-minute consolidation candle here at the bottom that gave you a whole 5 minutes to look for the laggard play on CNK that eventually goes from that 718 really quickly on up there towards the 732s. This is how I like to play a lot of the times when I'm trying to do leaders and laggards type of play. The question really is, how do you catch these? You got to know the relationships. It's all about relationships and trading. A lot of this, you guys hear about it by Dennis Dick all the time in the morning. He does more arbitrage off these relationships. I like to pay attention to these relationships with the story. Look how retail traders were trading it today. And as you guys saw, it did get a pop. We'll see if it can continue making this move. And we'll see if AMC can move tomorrow and IMAX and CNK can move. But that's how you guys can take a look at it for the leader and laggard type of trade. All right, guys, what's going on out there? AMC moves, follows GME. Yes, that is a wrong relationship. No, it's not wrong, Andy. You are right in GME following AMC, but it's actually the opposite. AMC follows GME, but that doesn't mean that's the only relationship, Andy, that exists. I know about that GME one, but I also know how CNK and IMAX have been actually more on the uptrend lately, and those have actually been leading on the daily charts. If you look here, I'll show you the daily charts. Look how IMAX has been leading the move back up in AMC. So if you take a look here and you take a look at AMC, what do you see here? What do you see on the IMAX? What do you see on the CNK? So to me, I think the CNK and these two charts look stronger than even this AMC one. So that's a relationship type of play. There's never an exact here. It's always about looking at correlation. If you wanted to take a look at that, that's where you could really say, okay, so what is more heavily correlated? Is it GME or is it CNK and IMX? All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. Setup matters. Disney and Twilio were both down in the pits going in. Yeah, I agree with that, Jay. We did see a good kind of spot there with Twilio and Disney. One of the things that happened was, of course, the Netflix, right? Netflix was setting the bar low after their horrible report where they dropped 20%. And as you can see, what's happening here, Netflix actually going on up with that report of Disney. All right, Roblox being mentioned in the chat. Did this report today? I'm not sure. I wasn't watching this. Looks like we are getting a little pop there at the 315. Kind of interesting time to get that pop there. I need to look to see if we got some news here. Looks like they get an update on the NFL teams up with Roblox to have a presence in the NFL Tycoon experience there, guys. So check that on out. Looks like we're getting an experience there that is coming out there. There was an update there from the NFL. So it's teaming up there, and that's where you see that pop right there at that 325. We'll see if it can kind of continue going here. I'll show you guys that headline here. We had it in the pro. We'll see how this kind of continues to affect the stock. But definitely, you partner up with the NFL, and you also have the kids. Yeah, this is looking good, guys, especially after a short report that really knocked this down significantly. This was down there in the 62s. Coming on back, we'll see if this one can really start trending, and it put in a strong candle today. So keep your eyes out for a day 3 type move. All right, we'll see what happens there. What about Crocs? We'll take a look at Crocs coming on up here when we get towards our time to get into back testing. Like always, guys, we're going to keep going here on Benzinga. When I return, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about what was strong today, what was not, what can we look forward to, and which stock could we look forward for maybe a swing trade moving forward.
I tell all my CEOs, this is a very, very, very important platform. And look, all the other platforms are important too, but you're up there now. You're way up there.
Best investments you can do in your future is actually go and re-educate yourself on credible sites and credible resources like Benzinga. I think you guys have been killing it.
The comment section on this show is remarkable. Like the quality of the combo, and just big shout out to you and your community.
So I love about you guys, you just had all your callers in right then. And it's all about the community here at Benzinga.
Yes, it's all about the community. That's what it's all about, guys. And what can I say?
Wow, it's very nice.
It's very nice to be with you guys out here. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. If you guys had a big winner today, definitely throw it up in the chat. Let's take a look at some sector and industry analysis here. So we look at technology. What did well in technology? Solar. So why did solar do good today? Of course, good ENPH number, but this one actually faded out the gates here, guys. I didn't think the gains would hold. Solar's been out of favor, and look how that took a hit right out the gates. They'll fake out to the upside right at the gates, went up to 183, then really started crushing on down, has been holding down, and really hasn't come back out of this trend. We'll see if ENPH could recover there, but definitely getting crushed. But look at these other stocks. MaxN actually did well today here. You could take a look at, let's look around here. Nova setting on up. It's a good amount of volume into the close. So take a look at that one tomorrow. See how that one kind of performs. I'll actually kind of draw a trend line around here and look for a breakout above 20s. That's actually an interesting chart. We'll keep that one on watch. FSLR, trying to get out of these, but these have been extremely oversold. So just be careful with these solar names. Mitch, you trading HD in lows? No, but it definitely was on the radar today. We'll take a look at that when we get into basic materials. I'll take a look at lumber, see how that did, and then we'll take a look at HD. Like always, guys, if you guys are joining in here, we got about 300 people. So do me the favor, guys. Let's go ahead and hit that like. Support us, guys. We're going to keep on going here. One thing that we will do is be going to stocks that you guys put in the chat. We'll be doing a back testing and a forward look. Normally, we just do kind of one kind of look. Christopher is doing the back testing. I'm going to be doing a little bit of the forward look. So stick around, guys, and smash those likes. Let's go. Like Miss Whitehorse in the chat says, let's go. All right, let's go. What is also strong in consumer cyclical? Let's take a look there. Gambling. What? Gambling? Could it be Super Bowl type of trade there? Let's take a look. All right, so Penn today coming out with news, and what happens? Boom, it starts moving, guys. I've been looking for the Super Bowl trade. I missed the swing trades today, so I'm a little bit upset about that because I was into my other reopening trades and kind of a little bit lost there. But look at DKNG and Penn today, really pushing on up. We were trading this back around the 2150s, so we could have got back into DraftKings today. Really strong day out of DraftKings, ending up the day up on the high there. Really nice pattern too. And this is what I'd say about DraftKings. Be careful with the 1 minute. I've been seeing the 1 minute really stop on out, but the 5 or the 15 in DraftKings is really going to help you see the pattern clear and then you can really kind of catch those bottoms and catch those big dips. It has a big tendency of having volatility. Same thing that you see in Penn when you see those swings. Look how the 15-minute held really nicely here, and you could have just been attacking that 15-minute kind of flag pennant pattern. You could have been using that pre-market high, getting in there somewhere in the 50s, attacking that breakout, boom, up there towards 51, getting a whole point win on that one, and you could have risked maybe 20 cents or something like that up there towards 51. Not a bad trade there for Penn. We'll see if these can continue making moves. Disney is continuing to rip. Let's go ahead. Let's take a peek at Disney, see if we can get through the resistance level and get into the shadow. That's what we're looking to see. If we can get into that shadow area, it's going to be into the 163. That's what I'll be watching, but I don't think it's going to get there. I think 160 is kind of the high today, but we'll see if we can get back on up through that high that we get on the 15-minute, which is 162.11. I'd be looking for Disney tomorrow, because if you got these good numbers, of course you could get a day 2 type of move. I'm trying to look at the subscriber numbers here, but looks like Disney's subscribers targets did reaffirm the subscribe target of 230 million to 260 million by 2024. So that's good news there. I'm trying to find the subscriber numbers here. Just a little bit different to find it live here for you guys. Looks like Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu users were higher year over year. So I think that's definitely important to note. I don't have the exact numbers, but just knowing that just shows us that subscriber numbers are the driving revenue here. What happened really with Netflix? They didn't hit those numbers. Now, if you're seeing that they hit all their numbers in their major areas, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu, there you have it, guys. Disney doing well. What's going on out there? Farturo. All right, Mitch, what do you use to watch the tape? Okay, so to watch the tape, one thing that I do is a lot is, so some people don't do this. I like to filter out time and sales. When you filter out time and sales, what you're doing is you're trying to take away the algorithmic volume. So I usually have a time and sales that shows me every order that's going through, and then I have a time and sales that I filter out for at least over a 1,000 share order so that I can catch the bigger orders to look at the tape. And a lot of that also is, let's say, looking at the level 2, seeing that 100 show up there, seeing 200, 300, a nice wall of selling on the offer side. And then what I look for is for that to roll through and show up on the time and sales. So let's say you see 100 or 200 there. All of a sudden it goes from 200 to 180 to 150 to 100 to 60 to 50 to 40 to 30. And you see that wall going through. You should also be seeing these big orders show up on the time and sales. It's always important to know where the big fish is. And I think it's so vital. And I like to catch them so that I can catch the momentum and ride the wave. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going on out there and see what other trades are available. In a second, we should be getting into some back testing. If not, I will definitely, I think Chris should be getting here really soon. It's around 4:30 that he was going to join. So we'll go ahead and get into back testing. Get ready. Throw up the likes. We have over 352 people. I want to see 150 likes so that we can get into those back testing. I'm going to check out where we're at right now in the like game. But definitely, guys, smash on up, support us as we're absolutely free. All right, where are we at right now? We're at just 95 likes, guys. We need another, 160 more, 155 more. Let's go ahead. Hit the likes, guys. Smash on up. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see what's going on out there. That was such bad math. I realize that now. And I'm usually pretty good at quick math, but hey, you guys can make fun of me later. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see what's going on out there. Did you guys take a look at some of the let's go to basic materials and see what did well there. Looks like copper leading up again. FCX, a trade that we called out, and we had these levels drawn. I should have been. It's hard to trade them all, guys. One thing that I do here on Money Mitch is try to get us into a whole bunch of views, right? What charts look good? What stands out to me? It's always up to you guys to find these trades. Like, I can't keep my eye on all of them. So I want you guys to join us on live trading so that we can keep our eyes on all of us together as a group. If we take a look here at FCX, look at this last 2-day move. I had called out a move on Monday when we got through the 39.41 that would be a nice breakout look. We could come back up towards the 45s in the long run. Ever since then, we've already gone on up there about 9 or 10%. So this is when I start looking to actually sell right now in my swing trades. I'm looking for those 8 to 10% winners. So I would actually probably be selling into this move in FCX. So just be careful. To me, that also shows signs that I got to be careful of a pullback at these levels, and I don't want to get caught. Pop a bull, get rich. Well, I mean, I don't think I can get you rich, but one thing I can definitely do is help you start seeing things a little bit maybe clear. And if I can do that, that's a success for me. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going here. What other did good today? Aluminum, second day in a row. Look at Alcoa taking off. Why is this happening? I think this was a run into the inflation trade, right? If we're going to get CPI numbers and the CPI numbers come hot, that could have been the trade right there. Buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. But we'll see if these basic materials can keep moving. Let's take a look also at here. I wanted to take a look at lumber. How did lumber do today? We're going to take a look at WFG to see if it got back above 100. It's fighting here, trying to get back above 100. Keep this one on your radar, guys. I'll see when it gets back above 100, and I'll alert us on live trading. All right, guys, so let's go ahead. Let's see what other ones are doing well. Looks like we had EVA doing decent today. UFPI, wood is what I wanted to take a look at before I took a look at Home Depot. It is trying to find a bounce there. I think you got to keep Home Depot on watch. If lumber keeps going up, I might trade Home Depot. But the only thing is that if kind of the inflationary trade comes down, I think you also see Home Depot start coming down also. So it's kind of like a battle here and wondering if you should go after Home Depot. Let's take a look at Lowe's. How's Lowe's doing? Lowe's kind of similar charts, right? Finding those bottoms here, trying to hold on, trying to see if it can get back above the 200-day moving average, which is close towards that 240. If it can recover that, we'll start making and looking better there. All right, so looks like someone's calling out semiconductors doing well today. I'll take a look at that. Looks like data storage, electric gaming, semiconductor equipment did better there. But definitely, semiconductors not looking bad there. Let's take a look here. What are we seeing moving on up? I see some lower names here. Let me take a look at the high cap names here. Looks like NVIDIA had a 7% day. So, yeah, that definitely was a good one. I wasn't really keeping an eye on this one, too. But as you guys can see, definitely a high trending one there. NVIDIA with a beautiful day and a beautiful push. All right, guys. So I told you guys that we would get into a special time. So it's time to bring on the confetti. Yes, I said it, guys. Bring on the confetti. Hit the subscribe. Hit that up there. Bring on the diamonds. There's no diamond hand here, but I don't care. Whatever we're going to do, we're going to rock it on off here and bring on my man, Christopher Udall. What's up, man?
My dude. Hey, thanks for covering for me.
By
the way, I got to learn how to use all those graphics and whatnot. And then the music, man, that's some good stuff.
Yeah, man. We got to keep it going. You know, we got sometimes...
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper!
All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into it. If you guys don't know Christopher here, first, tell them about the show that you normally have right in this time slot.
Well, dude, you got a huge audience right now, 390 at least. That's crazy. So normally during this time, Benzinga is gracious enough to let me come and hang with you guys, the amazing Benzingers, and we do live trading and backtesting. And the way that we do this is we do it with a lot of audience participation. And in the chat box right now, I need you to do me a favor. Put in two things. Put in the #1 stock that you made the most money on this week. The one where you're bragging to your friends. You're like, hey, yeah, I told you so. What'd I tell you, right? And then I want you to go into the other box, right? Into the chat box there and tell me the one. I love this graphic. Tell me the one that's the opposite of this guy here. Tell me the one that took your lunch money, right? Tell me the one where you're like, I'm not telling anybody about that. No. I lit my money on fire on that one, and we're not going to talk about it, right? Maybe it was Facebook this week. I don't know. Let me know in the chat what worked for you, what didn't work for you, and we'll backtest those, right? We'll talk about a super simple strategy. Here's my pitch. You ready, Mitch? Here's my YouTube pitch.
Let's do it.
The one simple line that'll show you how to like take over the world with trading. How's that? Was that all right? I don't know. I need to work on the pitch.
It works, except I'm sure somebody hit skip advertisement there.
Dang it.
So hopefully we didn't hit
don't
the skip button. We're keeping on going here. Let's go ahead. Let's get to it. So another thing is, of course, what do you use for back testing, Christopher?
So I use a platform. You may have heard of it. It's called TrendSpider. It's really amazing. I know the guys over there personally, and the fact that you can legitimately, without any effort at all, test any strategy and like the click of a button. Like I was doing this the other day with the members of my 10-minute trading room, and we went through probably 40 stocks in 40 seconds. I mean, it's literally like you can click down, you keep all your criteria the same, you just move from stock to stock, and the data loads instantly. It's the most amazing, magical thing you've ever seen.
All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to what everyone wants to see. Let's break open the piggy bank of stocks out there. Let's get to it. Go ahead and throw up your charts up here, Chris.
All right, let me add my screen.
So this is the way it's going to work, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Chris run the back test, right? He's going to run the back test. He's going to tell us some stats about that. He's going to tell us the look. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull up my charts to take a look at how I would see the stock today looking forward. The fun part about this is that we'll compare kind of the back testing to my look of technicals moving forward. So let's go ahead. Let's jump right into it.
This sounds good, Mitch. I like this. Looking at the past, looking at the future. All right. We got a lot of people on here. Let me go. I'm scrolling up to where I believe I came in, and we're going to start with changing frames on Amazon, which looks like Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, I love that show. I miss that show, man.
Dude, I tried to get my kids on it, but like animation's changed, right?
Yeah,
you
they
look at
can't even
animation from
handle
when
it.
we were kids. It's not the same anymore.
No, not the same.
All right, so let's take a look at Amazon. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clear off my charts here to just be, oh, not that button. I'm going to clear off my charts to just be the 10-day exponential moving average. Now, where I'm going with this is if you've ever heard of trend following, which I personally feel is the only way to trade, the only way a price goes from 50 to 100 is in a trend. Sorry, that's just the way the math works. And you can follow this, right? You can let the price tell you where it's going to go, okay? So, for example, we're going to backtest this strategy following the blue line. And I do not know the results of this. And if it crosses over, that would be an entry signal. If it crosses under, that would be an exit signal. So with that said, let's get right into it. I'm going to go to my strategy tester, and I'm going to build this out. So watch along. I'm going to make the entry criteria for the last 1,000 candles be when the condition of price close is greater than the indicator of the 10-day exponential moving average. So again, when price crosses above the blue line here. Then we're going to, for the exit condition, add a script where we're saying condition, price, close, because we're only trading at the end of the day for this, is less than indicator exponential moving average of 10. Now remember, entry, exit, over, and under the blue line. Mitch, what's your prediction here?
I would say it's since this stock has a tendency of going sideways, I'm actually going to say it's probably not the biggest percent winner, but we'll see here.
All right, so this is 4 years of data. I'm gonna throw a number out there. I'm gonna say the back test result of 37%. I don't know. It's literally
all right. I'll go for like 15 to make it
okay.
even.
Okay, ready?
To give a number.
Ready, set, click the run, and through the magic of the internet, 3.14. Are you kidding? So
winner.
Proves a point, Mitch. This proves a point. All right. Listen, it's Price is Right rules. We both lose, right?
Yeah, you know how it goes.
You take a look at this and you say, okay, well, if it's 3%, then what's this other number, Chris? Well, that's the thing, right? We have no control over what the stock did in the last 1,000 candles. What we can control are entry and exit points. Now, what this says here is this may not be the most optimal strategy for this stock, and that's okay. you can always adjust. You can always play with the back test to figure out, you know what, maybe if I go with the 15-day, maybe if I go with the 50-day, something like that, maybe that works better for you and your strategy. All right, Mitch, that's the past. Let's talk about the future on this.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to first go ahead and throw up my charts now. And of course, like always, guys, this is just going to be kind of the way that I'm looking at it and also the way I've looked at Amazon because I've watched it for a while. I remember when we first started coming back up here towards this kind of breakout look, I was thinking, Amazon to 4,000. It looks perfect, right? And that's not always the case. And that's why we always got to do a little bit of a mix. Look at the back testing. And the back testing could have probably led us to thinking, well, it's not always the biggest winner on that 10 moving average. But as you guys can see, it rejected from those breakouts above here, let's say 38 area. Then we went down all the way to support. Whenever I see that move, I'm always a little concerned because it doesn't mean that always that support that you saw to the left is going to hold. Here, let's go to the monthly so we can understand it a little bit more. And what do you see? That we broke through those levels. But one thing that I would point out is that there's wicks down there. And now we're starting to see the close of these monthly candles being really close to that monthly support. And so to me, I would actually pull it down towards an even 3,000 and kind of look at it there. So as long as 3,000 holds for me on Amazon, I'm bullish back towards the resistance. But the big thing here is always what is going to happen and what can they innovate? Because if we saw here, Amazon was kind of slowing down. They had the least profitability that they've had since, let's say, 2016. And this is actually important because normally they kill it. They did really well with that Rivian sale. So, I mean, that stake, let's give them prop on that. They definitely hit the bottom line because
Plus,
of that.
I got to tell you, on the sales front, they are outside my doorstep every day. So I know I'm contributing to that bottom line. No doubt. There were 2 packages from them today, 2 separate deliveries. Yeah. It never ends.
Let's just say the Amazon, the Amazon guy already knows. He doesn't look at his GPS. He just pulls up to my house.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's see how it comes back to me as long as it can get back on up there. And then another thing to notice is you were getting kind of this uptrending line. So you see this line here. I'm going to actually draw it to a red color so that we can see it a little bit better and make it a little thicker. And you could see what was happening there. You were getting higher and higher lows, and then eventually it broke that line. So I'm actually seeing it test that line as a resistance right now. If it can get above that and close above that, I'm going to be really feeling good and confident that Amazon's at least balancing out here. But what do you think after now hearing my Amazon and also hearing the back test? What do you think?
Yeah, let us know.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's get to another one here. Let's go towards
you pick this time.
I'll take a pick here. Disney we could do, but their earnings just came out, so I don't think that's one that would be positive for us to do the test on here. So let's go to AMD. This is an interesting one.
That's a fan favorite. Always is.
Yeah, always. Can't go wrong with AMD.
AMD, look at this guy, right? You know, you talk about the future, Mitch. One thing that's really cool using TrendSpider is that if this is a valid backtest, it'll actually plot on the chart this backtested results here. And would you believe 200% return? Check that out, right? This one simple strategy will give you a 200% return over the last 1,000 candles. Now, here's one thing I got to say, Mitch. Are you ready for this? You've probably heard this before. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Just got to say it. I got to say it.
Yeah, I unfortunately had some women tell me that same thing, but we won't get into all that.
Oh, man. I like it. I like it. But let's talk about this, right? 1,000% return over AMD over the last 1,000 candles. But remember, Mitch, we can't control that. That's throwing a dart on a board 1,000 candles ago and saying, I like AMD, let's buy it, and not talk about it for 1,000 days. Or we can follow a strategy and still have a 211% cumulative return. What do you think on it?
I think this is going to be a good one. You know, one thing I like about AMD is at least from my knowledge of always watching the price action on it, I like that this stock, when it trends, it keeps a trend.
It does.
Sometimes, that trend might be on the downside, but sometimes that could be on the upside also. So one thing I look for, and you and I both, stocks that trend are probably going to do well, especially on a back test.
Yes, yes. And this was my biggest winner last year, which is funny because I got in at 95 when it went up from 95 to 115, this spike here. But then looking at it later on, when it went from 103 to 160, it's like, oh, I missed that one. Damn it,
Hey, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Definitely. And AMD loves to kind of give you those runs. And that's what I like about a stock
It
like
does.
that. All right, so I'll take a quick look on my side of it on AMD there. Let's take a look here. AMD, you can see how many lines I have drawn. I think I look at this stock sometimes. To me, I'll just take a little laugh about that. But yeah, recovering up here towards the 134. You're getting a V-shaped bottom. That's actually a good recovery. And if you actually look back at AMD, you'll see a lot of these kind of V-shaped bottoms. Look at this, like when it breaks out of it, it's a lot of that kind of V-shape. So that to me shows that yes, this stock does, when it breaks trend, it usually kind of breaks it and comes all the way down.
Yeah.
But also when you establish a trend, it holds, and that gives us opportunities to look for those pullback buys to jump on the trend, and also use maybe a different moving average to tell us, hey, this is our time to go ahead and get out.
Yeah, I love it. And, anything can work, right? As long as you keep your risk tight. You know what I mean? As long as you know where you're going to get out, you can let it run as far as it can before you actually get a signal to get out. So yeah, for sure.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going in it. You could take the next one. What do you see out there?
All right. Let's talk about what's popular out there these days. How about
chicken dinners? I heard are popular.
I saw chicken dinner. How about Spotify? That's a good one. By the way, Lumos, I know you come every week for the back testing, so I got you here.
Hey, right, there you go. That's what I like to see.
Not to get political for a second, but just for a second. All right. I love freedom of speech. I'm just saying it. What I don't love is the idea, and call me what this may get me kicked off Benzinga. I'm sorry. But you know what? As a fellow podcaster, I support Joe Rogan and his free speech. I'm just saying. All right, that's it. Half you've unsubscribed at this point. It's all my fault. Oh,
no worries. I don't think, to tell you the truth, I think we have a couple of Rogan fans out there. But let's take a look here.
All right. Let's get back to Spotify. I know, but they want to blame it on him. That's why I mention it, right? But let's be real here, Mitch. Nothing that happened in November when the trend broke was Joe Rogan's fault. It's only down here after we're down how much? 41%. They're like, oh, it's Joe Rogan's fault. No, give me a break.
Let's not get a part of the cancer culture.
No. But what I will tell you, and this is why we backtest right here, Mitch. Are you ready? Yeah. If you bought it at IPO until now, you're up 1%. One single percent. If you followed a 10-day exponential moving average, you're up 76%. You are up 76 times as much as if you had just bought it and hold it. That is the reason why we backtest. That conclusively proves, hey, you know what? This stock is a fantastic stock to trade, right? But not one to invest in long term. Do you see the difference there, Mitch? Do you see that? That's what we're talking about here. 76% to trade it versus 1% to invest in it. Now, with that said, I understand that half the audience is gone at this point. They've all thumbs down this, but turn that thumb upside down. Give us a like instead. How's that sound?
Let's go. So what I see on Spot is a def cross that was recent, but I also saw this happen on a couple other stocks. So, I mean, doesn't mean necessarily that this is still in bearish terms, but to me, I think until you see Amazon recover, I'm not looking at Spotify and for this case, you could look at some other names. These are these growth names that are just like, I think these are kind of what you see get stuck into the environment. Right now, the environment isn't for these high, big tech stocks to really continue leading because of what? The Fed rates, right? And Fed rates should affect these higher ones that have huge debt, that have a lot to borrow versus these smaller growth stocks that I think actually are not going to do the worst if they go up, let's say 1%, because Let's just be honest. They still got to borrow the money anyways, regardless of that. Now, when it comes to a company like Amazon borrowing money or a company like Spotify, it's going to be a little bit different, right? And so let's let these actually swing back. And what do we want to see? We want to see the cross come back on the upside. So let's get that 50 to cross back through the 200, and then we can take a look. That's what I would say.
I like that. I love the fact that you are really considering the 50 and the 200 and what that means to an investor, right? That just means, hey, in the nutshell, right? Over the last 200 trading days, and there's about or give or take 200 trading days in a year, it's below that average price. And last I checked, I want my stocks going up. So I want it to be higher than the average prices and moving further north. So yeah, makes sense to me.
All right, let's keep the tendies going here. I did see some chicken tender comments in the chat. I love some tenders myself. I'm a Canes kind of fan. I don't know if you guys know about Canes.
Oh, not Canes. No, you can't be a Canes fan.
You can't go wrong. I mean, I love me some tenders. Zaxby's, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. That's what's up. Yeah. That's what we call it at my house because my 6-year-old couldn't pronounce Chick-fil-A. It's Chick-fil-A. Get you some Chick-fil-A. You can't doubt that drive-through line. You get through 1,000 cars in 20 minutes. They're amazing.
Let's just say I'm ready to turn in my points and get my 30 nuggets in for the Super Bowl. But let's keep going. Let's get into another stock here. I want to take another one here. This was an interesting one. I see how I mentioned multiple times, so we'll touch that one. Of course, none other than faceplant, as my friend Joel likes to call it. But Facebook, we'll take a look.
This is rough, dude. This is rough. All right. I said this the other day to somebody, and I mean it when I say, I don't know if Facebook will ever come back to 380. I don't think it's ever going to see 380 again.
Before you do the back test, why do you feel that way?
If you look at, so this is more fundamental. I don't do much fundamental, as you know, but for the first time ever in history of Facebook, they have less daily average users than they used to. I mean, it's very obvious that people have lost trust in Facebook as an entity, and changing their name to Meta is not solving that problem like they thought it might, right? People are still like, oh, wait, you mean Facebook, right? And half the people that I talk to, they're like, I'm not going to be strapping any iPhone or any iPad to my face and trying to do work like that. I think this metaverse thing, it's going to play out in one way or another. And you can think of it like Roblox, right? Roblox has beat Facebook to the metaverse. My kids know all about Roblox. They know every single thing about it, right? They have their little avatars. One of them, this was great. He went to the store and bought a Nerf gun, and he could have that exact Nerf gun inside of Roblox on his avatar. That is the metaverse. And they don't need it strapped to their face, Mitch. It'd be cool, but they don't need that. Facebook's too late to the party. And they don't have the trust that they used to. And I just don't think investors are ever going to come back to 380.
I'll tell you one thing. So my idea to this is story, right? I always talk about story for me, and I'm always trying to think about it in the long term, right? And so what's happening here is a decoupling of what Facebook used to be valued as a social media platform, right? I think at this point, you're going to start seeing that get cut in half. We see them happen all the time. And so that out view is going to get cut in half. Now, you mentioned Meta, right? Are they going to be able to step in here? Now, one thing I will give them an upside look is that in the summer, there's no date yet, but they will be releasing a new goggle. And I think this one will get that adoption rate. And I think this is the biggest thing to focus on Facebook. I don't even care about their social media anymore.
Yeah.
I am purely and simply looking at those new goggles coming out and seeing how they're going to go ahead and transition the games from Quest 2 over to the new platform. Are you going to be able to play it on that? And what games they could actually bring that could bring people to come to adoption. The same way I view EVs, and I think LiDARs are needed and autonomous vehicles are needed for us to get that huge EV adoption. It's the same way I feel in the metaverse.
Makes sense, dude. Now, I've got one of those Oculus 2s, and it's cool, but at the same time, like, it's also a novelty. So you got to break that novelty barrier into usefulness,
Yes.
right? You're
Yes.
not going to be able to use it like a phone. So you got to break that barrier down somehow.
Agreed. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going to it. What's going on in the chat? Looks like we're getting a little bit of some spam.
I see
Someone
that.
wanted to come on in here when I was talking. I'll take care of all that spam out there, guys.
By the way, we didn't actually confirm the back test. Negative 42%.
Ouch.
Dude, like that's rare, right? What that means is you take small loss after small loss after small loss after small loss, right? 35% win rate. And each one, average loss is only 2%. So you're just getting murdered hand over fist every time. Yeah. This is just not, in my opinion, this is not a stock you want to be long.
Yeah, definitely not. I think it's one of those that you have to wait and you have to tell a story. And even if the story would change, what's to make it say, like Chris said, that it ever comes back to those numbers at the top? Don't always think that if you look left, it has to get there.
No.
All right, let's go ahead. I won't even take a look at it. Let's keep going. Let's do one more here. We got about 3 minutes left. Please do us the favor, guys. Hit the like button for us. We got over 360 people here. Let's see where we're at in the like game.
Those
Looks
graphics are on point, dude.
Looks like we're at 167, guys. Let's see if we can get to 200 likes before the end of today's show. And I'm drowning in all of these likes, man.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Support us, guys. We're going to keep on going here for you guys. We're doing a little bit of overtime. Let's keep it going, guys. What's the next stock on up? Let's see. Who next person?
It's your pick now.
All right, I'll do one that's interesting. I was looking at Baidu, so I will go with Baba because Hertz said Baba. I would do Baidu, but hey, they're very similar to me. I think they trade hand in hand, relationships. But let's see how this trades in the back.
Let's just zoom out on this guy for a minute. Now, keep in mind all this noise around it. These are entry and exit points marked on the chart, which is really cool. But let's just try and take a look at this, right? What direction is that going? That's going like more than 45 degrees down.
Yeah. The opposite of oil.
Yeah. Trust me, I just filled up my wife's car yesterday and her car takes premium and I'm like, oh no, I don't want $4 again.
No.
Not again. That sucks.
Oh no.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking forward to when I get my Tesla, that's for sure. But in the meantime,
for sure.
Dude, 1,000 candles ago to now, you're down 35%. And you follow a strategy, a proven winning strategy like this, you're still down 29%. You're either down 35% or 29%. If you bought this at all, you're down. That's basically what it says.
Well,
okay.
I know I was hitting a little block on in the chat.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Little spamming action out there. But I would see at least on this is that I was looking for the Olympic bottom. I'm gonna call it the Olympic bottom, right? And so one thing that I always look for, and I look for what you call I do this is, you know, you can look at it as Elliott waves or whatever you want to kind of look at it. To me, I call it the rule of three. I look for three bottoming actions down in the bottom and showing me reversals off indicators to give me a little bit more confirmation. So the three bottom actions, that we can see clear as day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see those three bottoming actions, right? Now we want to go ahead and try to look at some of the indicators. How is that kind of pointing out? We can see the MACD starting to cross on over here. And what I like about it is that it did this little up and down below it, then cross back up. I do like when it does that. It kind of gives us a little bit of that reversal action, could give us that push. Now let's take a look a little bit deeper. Let's take a look at how the RSI is. The RSI went down towards a low in December towards 858. And now we're going to see where we're at now. We started to get an uptrend. And so something that I like to do is kind of trend the RSI, because I have a feeling, and I always look at this, RSI has a tendency of coming back up, but then it comes back down and kind of catches some dips, catches up, catches dips, catches up. And so I try to draw sometimes trend lines to follow that. And then we can kind of see here how you kind of come towards an RSI on the daily towards 34. Then you come up towards 47. Then you come back towards 36. Then you go up 41. You come back 36. And so to me, right there, we're starting to get the battle between the bears and the bulls. Now we can have a level to go off of. Now we got to start looking a little bit closer. To me, that dip is right here where you got that volume spike. So that's where I'm going to call that the big buyers are taking their shot. Of course, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the level, but at least in my mind, I can start looking at this as being kind of what I would call a green zone. So a zone that I could look for potential pullbacks to get into. So now I'm starting looking at this and I can see, hey, we're starting to bottom out. We're starting to look like we want to push. A lot of kind of this has been already going on since when? All of 2021, this was on a downtrend. So what's not to say that we didn't find that downtrend right there at the beginning of the year? You could see that bottoming action, at least giving us a level to go off of here. Of course, you're catching a dip, but at least you have some confirmation, and the technicals starting to show at least sideways consolidation. Really, a lot of it is going to depend if we can get back up through, let's say, this 140 area. Once you get up here, yeah, we're going to be looking really bullish, but that's all up depending on to you. If you're a type of trader that likes to trade going into the breakout versus waiting for that moment for the big push. And I think this is a similar chart. I would watch Baidu. Look how Baidu, I've been watching 160 was the level that I was watching for that breakout. We just got through there. And then we hold it today on this pullback towards what? 160.10. So I just want to point that out there that Baidu is holding well there. Look for Baidu and JD to lead. And look how JD is starting to look strong. And then Baba actually be the laggard, which at some point, if you look back, you'd actually see on the like if you look at the dailies and you look back, you'll see that Baba was the leader. And now I think that relationship has switched. It's more JD on the top, Baidu in second, and Baba in third. I always try to pay attention to the leader and laggard type of trade. Maybe there's one leading the industry, the others are following, and this kind of helps. I think you're starting to see, hey, a little bit of an Olympic bottom. We'll see.
You know, you very well could be, right? But consider stocks are always in favor or out of favor, right? And it was out of favor for all of last year. And we may be starting to find some favor. And maybe, just maybe, it has something to do with the Olympics. I don't know. Maybe you're right about that.
Hey, like always, guys, one thing that you'll see is that there's never 100% way, just like you'll see it from Chris and I. You'll see it from everybody. And if someone does tell you that, what should you do, Chris?
You should give them all your money. That's what you should do.
No. You should be more like,
Run, bitch!
run!
I like that.
That's the truth, because at the end of the day, man, you'll hear from Chris and I, we always work on our game. One thing we try to do is be more objective in our process, but that doesn't mean that we know 100% one way. That's why you always keep learning from each other. I learned from Chris, just like Chris kind of, you see him. You see him when I'm taking my analysis. He's like, okay, I see you, Mitch.
Yeah.
I see you. Okay,
Well,
I kind of like that look.
What I like about what you do, Mitch, is you incorporate the story, which I'm purely price action. So I like how you incorporate the story and try and build your trading hypothesis around that.
The thesis. It's
Yeah,
a thesis
and there's
at the
nothing
end of the day.
wrong with either way. It just what fits your personality. You know?
Yeah, excellent. So the way that I refer to that is what I like to do is I try to trade in a scientific method. Really, that's what I try to do, guys. I try to build a theory, right? I like to put it into test, and then we'll put it the test in the experiment, and that's the trade itself. And one of the things of always, like any scientist or anybody will look back, you look back at your statistics to go ahead and base your future trades and your future experiments, right? You learn from that, you analyze, and we go back to it. We keep trying to improve the process, and that's what I like doing in trading. It's not necessarily sticking it to one direction, and it is that when you take a trade, it's an experiment of your process, and it's never going to be 100%. And that's why I look at it as an experiment, and we look back at our analysis to see if we need to adjust. Is it us on execution, or is it our system itself?
Dude, that's so wise. And I don't know if half the people who are watching even really understood what you said. And it's nothing against Benzinga, the Zinger Nation out there. It's the fact that you've got to be objective in your trading. It cannot involve emotion, right? You can develop a story, but if price doesn't confirm that, it doesn't matter. And that's okay. That just means you take a small loss, right? I tell people all the time, there's only 4 outcomes to any trade. It should either be a giant winner, a small winner, a break even, or a small loser. You can never at any point let a loser get away from you, because if it does, then you're working against yourself. And the only way you can do that is by being objective and being, you know what, I'm okay with taking a loss. No big deal. You got to size your trades appropriately and keep that risk in mind.
Definitely. I mean, the sizing is so massive. And sometimes you'll notice that, hey, what if I just try to ease the emotions and ease the strategy here so that I can focus on the percentages? I think is so massive for beginners, because it's not necessarily always about the full return on the cash. It's about how you can really do this process. Because if you ask Christopher, hey, I know he paid his dues, and I paid my dues too. We all do. And one thing that we all can look back and probably say is, hey, use the least amount possible to get skin in the game, but also not put yourself at burning through cash that you're going to eventually use once you find that process that works for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
the way that I teach people to trade is you pyramid into it, right? If you put on a trade, you put it on with your smallest unit size. If that unit size is 50 shares or 1,000 shares or whatever is the smallest size to you, to make sure it's working. And then once it is working, you just add to it. And then you got a huge winner by the time that you get out of the trade. But also, if it doesn't work, Mitch, you get out on your smallest unit size. You take your tiny loss on a tiny amount of shares. And then it gets way easier at that point.
yeah, it's all about controlling the emotions, risk management first. You'll see the reward, and it comes usually with process decision-making skills. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Like always, guys, you guys can catch Christopher at 10minutestocktrader.com.
Yes, 10minutestocktrader.com.
At 10-minute stock trader on Twitter, guys. Go ahead and reach out to him on Twitter. And also, he has his own YouTube channel that has, is it thousands? I mean, I know it's
That's
close
over
to
10,000 subscribers at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I even hundreds of videos on different traders.
I think we're at 600 something videos. Yeah.
That's what I was kind of pointing to. And these are videos that have that green long life shelf. It's not something that he recorded last week and you talked about a trader that took a trade. No, these are actually videos that you guys can gain some skills and knowledge on. So I definitely would check them out. I watch them from time to time. Sometimes I don't even need the video up. I can just listen to it and get some knowledge that way. So check it on out, guys.
Appreciate it.
If you want to kind of show them the link right quick, let's do that.
Yeah, actually, what I wanted to do, if you don't mind, is this Friday, I am hosting a live webinar, kind of like what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I'm breaking down how to trade stocks like a video game, right? It's all about playing like Mario. You try to capture the princess, but you know what, Mitch? You got to have a plan for when you don't capture the princess, right? When those stupid little turtles come and knock you over, or those little mushroom weirdos decide to take you out, you got to have a plan. And so that's what we're going to be talking about on this webinar. The way to get to this webinar is just go to my website, 10minutestocktrader.com. You'll see this link right here. And I'd love to see as many Benzingers there as possible to trade. Oh, with the music. Perfect. Yeah, dude, I'd love to share some of my wisdom and experience that I've had, paying my market tuition over the last decade. And the best way I can do that is to invite you guys over to this webinar, How to Trade Stocks Like a Video Game.
Boom. Check it on out, guys. We'll see what happens. Like always, guys, we'll keep going right here on Benzinga. See you guys next time. Hit that like button before you guys get on out of here.